What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Commish show. Unfortunately, I'm all lonely today. I'm by myself, so for that, I gotta give a little "come on, son" to my two co-hosts, RJ and Alton. They're at home playing some Destiny. They didn't want to come for whatever reason. That's neither here nor there, but we're gonna hop right into the Week 6 recap, and we're gonna start with Auto Draft Mike against Eric, and Eric with another close loss, 2.2 points. Three of his 6 losses have come with a total of 6.5 points, it's very unfortunate for Rick. And the most of those 3 being 4.1. It was 4.1, the 0.2 against Andrew, and the 2.2 this week, it's disappointing because it's just so close. That could easily be 3 wins right there, and it would be a whole different season for Rick. So hopefully he keeps fighting on, and we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the season. But if we look at this game, Auto Draft Mike's team, he had 4 players in double digits. One was a kicker with 12, and then there was 3 other players. They were all over 20. So that's tough to beat. Both players had a goose egg in this match. It was a close one, and it should have been. Larry Fitzgerald had an absolute day for Rick. Le'Veon Bell for Auto Draft went off. And Auto Draft is looking good. His bench had some decent production. Carson Wentz went off on Thursday night. So it's definitely looking up for Auto Draft. We Auto Drafted him a good team. I'd love to hear from him. Once again, we're going to say it every week till we see him. But we'll move to the next one. And Sean, he put the beat down on Alton this week. Alton was pumped because he was projected to win, and Sean's guys were all on bye that week. LaShawn McCoy, Dak Prescott, Dez Bryant, they were all on bye, and Sean still put up 122 points to Alton's 102. Beat him by a large margin, around 20 points. And if you look, Deshaun Watson, he's just going off every week now. And it's carrying Tuna because the rest of his team wasn't too great. 3 players in double digits. You look, Kirk Cousins had a big game on his bench, but he's got like 18 quarterbacks on his team. He has 2 kickers on his team. The one on his bench had 21. So, it's tough. It's tough when you have so many quarterbacks and kickers to choose from. You don't know what to do. If you choose the wrong one, you kind of feel bad for yourself. That's why I like to stick to 1 or 2. Definitely 1 kicker. I don't know why there's more than 1 kicker on your team, but we'll look at Sean and Colts defense again. 1 point. He's sticking with him. Simeon was a good fill-in, 15.9. Fournette had a monster game, had that 90-yard run. McKinnon looking great. That trade, it was a good trade, Sean. And Brate, who would have saw this from Brate? I think he has touchdowns in the last 3 or 4 of his games. He has a touchdown in each one, but Sean's rolling. And I know I play him this week, and I don't know about that one. We'll move on next to RJ and Armand. I know last week on the Commish show, RJ was talking a little smack about Armand, saying he should be 1-4 and not 4-1. But Armand really came back, and his team put a smackdown on RJ, beat him 124.5 to 147.6, and pretty much everyone except his kicker were in double digits, and his kicker had 9. So defense with 15. He had 3 players over 20. It was just all around. Everyone on Armand's team went off. Even you look, Mark Ingram on his bench had 30. I think he might have been one of the high scorers this week. RJ, Melvin Gordon, he's just going off every week for him, 36. Golden Tate had a good week. Other than that, Matt Ryan isn't looking too good this year. So hopefully Matt Ryan can turn around. RJ, he's on the outside looking in for a playoff spot. I know he's 2 games back. 3 games back, actually, if we look at the standings. And that's always going to be tough. He has an uphill battle, and we'll see if he could do it. It'll definitely be fun to watch for the rest of the season. Move on to the next one. It was me and Tim Barry, and unfortunately, I lost by 4.5, and I say unfortunately because I'm sure by now everyone saw the call in the Jets-Patriots game with Seferian-Jenkins touchdown where it got called back. That was an 8-point swing. If I have those 8 points, I beat him. But this game came down to Monday night, and Decker, he decided he was going to have a game more than 10, first double-digit one of the season. His defense absolutely went off. McCaffrey went off. Just got to give it to Tim Barry. He lost Odell Beckham last week for the rest of the year, and he won. So 125 points was the second most points for, and it was a good week for Tim Barry. Move on to the next one, and a big game, huge game, Logan and Mannion, and I believe RJ called this one last week. He said Mannion was going to get the win, and with Aaron Rodgers being hurt, he still got the win. Aaron Rodgers with .7, and he still beat Logan, which is pretty good for Mannion. I mean, I know he was pretty stoked about it. It's tough he loses Rodgers for the rest of the year, but he's getting the points, and you look at his bench. He had a bunch of bench points. Pretty much every person in double digits who played. I know Macklin didn't play. Hearns was at 6.7. Everyone other than that was 10 or higher. So I think things are definitely looking up for Mannion, minus the quarterback situation. But Ajayi, he's getting a ton of yards. If he starts turning those yards, gets a couple touchdowns here or there, he's going to look really strong. So Sanders, he might be out for the year. I haven't checked on that situation, but I know he was week to week, so that's not bad. We're going to see with Mannion. Hopefully, I don't know if he's still trying to make trades or what, but it'll definitely be interesting, and he's not out of it yet. He's a few games back. So, I mean, if he could rattle off a few more wins, get some momentum, then he could be looking good. Logan, he has lost how many straight? 3 straight, so started out 3-0, now he's 3-3. Things are on the downturn. I know he made a couple trades. He has Tom Brady, so if you have Tom Brady, you're always going to be in it. Ertz is having an amazing season. So we'll see what Logan. It'll be another interesting one. I think the second half of the season coming up is going to be awesome. And then we move into our next game. We got Frank. He beat Andrew pretty heavily, and Andrew's team, it's kind of a little tough. He's tied for that last spot in his division, so he's just got to get a little bit more out of his players. I know Adrian Peterson had a monster game on his bench, unfortunately. He starts Adrian Peterson and Carson Palmer. I think he might almost win the game. It would have been very close, but the Rodgers injury, I mean, it's hurting everyone. He has Montgomery. It's going to affect him. Mannion has Nelson. It's going to affect him. Alton has Cobb. It's going to affect him. I mean, that's going to be a big injury. And then you look at Frank. He fought through some injuries. James Winston got hurt. That's his quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott, he's up in the air right now. As of right now, he's playing, but that could change at any day, so that could be big. And then if that does happen, Andrew has both McFadden and Alfred Morris. So Andrew, it can turn on a dime quick if Adrian Peterson keeps performing like he is, and then he gets one of those running backs to fill in for 6 weeks. He could definitely pull out that playoff spot. So that's it for the recaps for this week. We're going to listen to Shady Mike here. He's going to give us the matchups for next week, and I'm going to say who I think is going to win and why, and what I think maybe what they're going to do for the rest of the season. We'll take it how it goes. Shady Mike, what do we got?
All right, the first game we got for Week 7 is Alton versus an auto draft.
All right, so we got auto draft Mike and Alton. Alton is currently tied with Andrew at 2-4 for that 4th playoff spot. Definitely a little bit of an easier road for them, especially with Logan kind of falling off. So this, obviously, I think I have to go with the person who's just been rolling people, auto draft. You look at auto draft, he's 4-2. I think, yeah, he's won 2 in a row. So he's looking good. Le'Veon Bell's starting to produce. He's actually playing, which is always good. We don't hear from him, but he is changed his lineups and stuff. So I think auto draft's going to take it to Deshaun Watson on bye for Alton, DeAndre Hopkins on bye. Those are probably 2 of his best players. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think auto draft's going to win this one. Move on to the next one.
All right, the next one we have is Armand versus Tim Barry.
All right, so we look at that one, and I think this could be a really close game. I think a little bit of an edge goes to Armand because his team has definitely some studs on it. But I mean, Tim Barry, Ingram, if he produces what he did this past week, he could look real good. McCaffrey had an excellent week. Hopefully Carr bounces back. He had a pretty poor game, but I know he's still getting healthy. And then with Carr coming back, Crabtree's going to get a little bit healthy. But I mean, you look at Armand's team. I mean, Roethlisberger, Doug Martin, Carlos Hyde is pretty good. I know he's losing some touches, but Julio Jones, Jarvis Landry, Gronk, Mark Ingram on his bench, Amari Cooper, Sterling Shepard. He's got a strong team, so I think Armand takes this one, and I think Armand's going to make some big moves through the rest of the season. I know RJ said he didn't really think he was good enough, but he just put up high points this week on RJ. So I think Armand is going to be pretty tough to beat through the rest of this season. Move on to the next one, Mike.
All right, the third matchup we have is RJ versus Logan.
All right, so this is another very intriguing one to me because Logan's team, it's like sneaky good. His players aren't projected a lot, but they just perform. You know, Diggs gets those catches. Ertz goes off every week. Tom Brady's Tom Brady. So if he just has a couple big games here or there, I think he could definitely win. But with that being said, I'm going to have to go with RJ on this one. His team is just looking too strong. His running backs, Kamara and Gordon, they're excellent. I mean, Matt Ryan's definitely having an off year. I think he's definitely going to lose the quarterback battle by at least 15 points. But I think RJ definitely takes this one. I think it's going to be an easy win for him, to be honest. Logan's definitely on the down. Hopefully he turns it on and comes back. We'll see what happens, though. Move on to the next one.
All right, the fourth matchup we have is your game. It is you versus Sean.
Like I said, Sean's team is good, and I'm a little afraid. My team's a little banged up. Kelvin Benjamin left practice a little early with some knee problems. Hopefully that isn't anything too hurtful. I know he played pretty injured last week, but we'll see what happens. But Sean's team, I mean, McKinnon's just been going off. Brate's been going off. You would think O.J. Howard would be the tight end on the Bucs to be getting those points and really leading that ship. But Cameron Brate's been scoring left and right. Devontae Adams, I think he's definitely going to fall off a little bit from the production he's been having, obviously, without Rodgers. But, I mean, if Sean wants to change it up, he has Moncrief, who's been doing pretty well. And then once Luck comes back, Moncrief's going to look pretty good. For me, I mean, Russell Wilson at the Giants. Giants have a very good defense, so that's a little questionable. Kareem Hunt has been unbelievable this year. Antonio Brown, he does what he does. He's unbelievable every year, it seems. Safarian Jenkins has been catching passes left and right. So, I mean, I think it'll definitely be pretty close, and I'm very excited to watch this unfold. But I think Sean's going to take it, unfortunately. We'll move on to the next one.
All right, the fifth matchup is Andrew against Mannion.
All right, now I think this is going to be pretty close. I know Mannion has Bortles. Bortles hasn't been great this year, but it's going to be close, definitely. That being said, I think I'm going to give the edge to Andrew. Excuse me. Just because his wide receivers are just going to outperform Mannion's wide receivers. You look at A.J. Green and Keenan Allen, and then you look at Jordy Nelson, who's definitely going to be hindered a little bit from having Rodgers hurt. But we'll see what happens. Delaney Walker, I love Delaney Walker. Martellus Bennett is another one who's going to get hurt by not having Rodgers. But I think Andrew wins this one. He has the weaker running backs, but he definitely has the stronger rest of the team. I might take that back, actually. Adrian Peterson and Devontae Freeman are very good. I would say it's even at the running back position. This is going to be close, but again, I'm going with Andrew. Move on to the next one, Mike.
All right, the last matchup is Rick against Frank.
Rick's still looking for that first win, and Rick, I'm sorry, I don't think you're going to get it. Frank's team is just, it's strong. It's another one. Frank and Sean, I think, and Armand, I think they're kind of just one step above everyone else. But we'll see. I mean, you look at Rick's team, excuse me, I think the only thing he's going to win is maybe the quarterback battle. I know Winston's a little hurt. If that doesn't happen, I don't know where Frank's going to go because I don't think he has any he doesn't have a backup quarterback. So if Winston doesn't play, I know he had some shoulder problems, then that could maybe make it interesting, but I don't think so. I think it might be a blowout here. Larry Fitzgerald, he could go off again. Rick has Lamar Miller on bye, so he's going to have to put someone else in. And I think it's just going to be a pretty easy win by Frank. He's just going to coast along, take his win, move to 5-2, and then start looking towards the playoffs for him for the second half here. And that was all right, Mike?
That is all.
All right, guys. So, thanks. Sorry you only have me today, but hopefully next week I'll have my hosts here. Have a good day. I'll see you next week.